I don't care. Yeah, you gotta own it. It's pleasant. Well, welcome to VIP. We're Tegan and Sara, and it's such a pleasure to be here with all of you. We've been really looking forward to this show. We're gonna look at some animals after this. Yeah. Not you, animals. All right, we'll do some questions. Yeah, so I have complete control today because Tegan forgot her questions backstage and she tried to get me to give her half of mine, and I was like, that's not my job here. If you can't remember to bring your questions, I get complete and full total control. So, Tegan, starting with a very challenging question, okay? What is your fitness routine? So, I like this, there's one more comment. What is your fitness routine? You both seem in good form despite an irregular rock star schedule. Well, I would say that's the big thing. I think when we're at home, I can speak for both Sara and I and say we're actually quite active. We both like to run, and over the years we've gotten into other activities and stuff, but on tour it's hard. I really admire the musicians and crew that we travel with that work out or are physical every day. For me, the show really is my workout on tour. But I recently did get into this site called Human Garage, and it's all about fascia and like stretching and body, like the idea that when you get older you want to like still be able to move kind of thing. So I do have like a very brief like 15-minute thing I do every morning before I get going, and I have really noticed, but like last night on stage I was really fucking ranking my neck, like going for it, and I had to go down to I haven't gotten ice at a hotel in a minute, but I had to get like ice and take a Tylenol. It's like, oh, my head hurts. But yeah, it's hard. But we both like running. That's like our big thing. Okay, so I really loved. I don't even call it running. I really call it jogging. You jog. Yeah. I don't full out run anymore. I used to. I think in my 30s I had like a really big running stage, and I like got like to the point where I could like run, and it was magical, but now I'm too old. Someone asked, did you know it was going to be hot for this show? And I like this question because it makes me think about a couple of things. One, do you mean like when we booked it? No. Did I know it? Kelly? Today's your last day, we gotta let you go. Like, also happens to be Kelly's last day. Kelly, we gotta let you go. Big shout out for Kelly. Thanks, Kelly. We didn't know it was gonna be a heat wave, and we expected summer. We expected summer, yeah. But I mean, like, you know, in the Pacific Northwest, generally, we never expected this kind of heat. This kind of heat in other parts of the country, you always expected in the summer. But now, I mean, what is happening? We dress the same regardless. We did a whole tour opening for Paramore one summer, and we were playing all over the South. It was a super hot tour. Like, I mean, like really like 90s, 100s, you know, every day, playing outside. And I wore a leather jacket every single day. And people would just be like, aren't you hot? And I was like, not hot enough to take it off. So, you know, relax, you know? But now I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, now I have the piece of paper, so I have control for a moment. So there's two people I want to shout out. One person wrote, today's my 42nd birthday, and it's also my 42nd show. Happy birthday! That's so amazing. Honestly, okay, so happy birthday, and that's so dope. Another person here has written, today is my 55th Tegan and Sara show. I've been a fan since 2000. Who's that person? Where are you at? Are you not gonna? Okay, absolutely. Yeah, totally. Oh wow, I was gonna say you get to go home with Sara, but okay, anyway. No, what I was gonna say is it brings us so much joy that there are so many people in our audience who see more than one show. There are bands that I absolutely love that I've seen once. Like I have like Bruce Springsteen lyrics on my body, and I've seen him twice. And so I know it's not just a love of our music. It's about the community. It's about the experience of coming to shows. It's a whole thing. It's our hysterical comedy between songs, clearly, that draws people in. But whatever it is that gets people out to see us, I just appreciate you so much. And if you've seen one show or 1,000, we're still appreciative. But there's a special place in my heart for people who see so many shows, because I love that. I love seeing you out on shows, and it makes me so happy. And Sara and I have been doing this so many years, and we're so grateful. Like, this is gonna be like the biggest show we've played in Seattle, and it's such an honor, like, to be this far into our career and still be getting to do what we're doing and thriving. So it's just very appreciative. So happy birthday to you, and thank you to our 55 show person. Thanks to everyone for joining for VIP. It's really good. Sara. Okay, I'll do a couple quickies. Somebody asked if we're working on a second season of our TV show High School. We are not. There is a writer's strike and an actor's strike happening right now, and so most productions have been completely shut down. And we were not in production yet, though the show is written and ready to get a green light, and now unfortunately, we just have to wait and see what happens once the strike is over. So we still have hope, and our fingers are crossed that will happen. But it really helps if you haven't watched it, or you haven't told your friends how great it is because you watched it and loved it, then do it. Because I will say, like, when the strike ends, I want people at Amazon to be like, we've got to make season 2. So, keep talking about it, keep watching it, and hopefully we'll get a season 2. The second season is so good. It's written, I just hope it gets made.
You really said that?
I know, I'm just, I'm trying to encourage them. I'm really laying it. I want them to watch it. Go home. Leave now. Those of you who've seen so many shows, what do you need another one for? Just go home and watch High School. Some very important questions. Sara, do you have multiple black caps? And do you have a washing routine for your hats? I do, that's your question? I do have multiple hats, and I just throw them in the washing machine, and I just let them hang dry. I air dry them, yeah. That's it. And I never buy really expensive hats, so if I lose them, or if I I always kind of go with a mid, like a durable hat, but not an expensive hat, because I'm always losing them. I do not buy fancy hats. There's certain things, I love fancy things, but hats are not them. Someone says it's hot as balls and I'm heat sensitive. How are you doing, Sara? I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing great. Okay, what has been your strangest and or most memorable fan interaction and why? The one that popped into my head is one of my faves. It was, I was renting a car with my girlfriend a handful of years ago in the airport in Palm Springs, and there was the woman who was doing the interaction. She looked like maybe early 30s, I would have guessed. And over this 15 or 20 minute experience with her, at one point she looked up and said, she kind of just looked at me and then looked back down, was typing, and she said, anyone ever tell you kind of look like that band Tegan and Sara? And I started to answer, but I didn't have time to fully answer. I just was like, yeah. And as I was gonna say yes, actually, they do, she said, I wonder what happened to them. And then, again, I did not have time to, she was so quick, I didn't have time, I was like, what? And then she was like, I used to love them in college. It was a whole secret, so I didn't have it in me to be and then as quickly we'll say, another thing happened very, very soon after that, where I was at a coffee shop, and the girl who was helping me, she was like, oh my God, you look so much like that band, Tegan and Sara. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. I'm like, well, oh no, wait, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, whatever. And then she was like, what's the name for the order? And I said, Tegan. She laughed, and I said, no, my name is Tegan. And she was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then she turned to the other barista who was working behind the counter, and she was like, doesn't she look like Tegan and Sara? I was just, and she was like, yeah, you really do. And I was like, and my name's Tegan, because actually I'm in Tegan and Sara. I'm trying to end the awkwardness. And they both laughed, and then one of them starts making my coffee, and the other one turns the computer screen around, and she's pulled up our website. And she's like, you look just like this person. And I'm like, that is because it is me. And then she was like, that's funny. And I'm like, am I even punked? And so then I pulled out my wallet, and I got my ID out, and I slid my ID across, and I said, I am Tegan. And I fucking swear to you on everything, this is not an exaggeration, this is a true story. She picks the ID up, she goes over to the other girl and goes, her name is actually Tegan. Anyway, the best part of all this is I left this entire exchange on my mom's boyfriend's voicemail because I pocket dialed him before, so. Awesome. What's that? That was your question? What a great question. Thank you for asking. Did that satisfy?
Yeah, that did satisfy.
Wonderful.
I was always wondering, I don't know a lot of people that, not a lot of people over here, ask about sleeping with Tegan and Sara, and they don't. So I was wondering, how often you guys would recognize
it really depends, yeah. If I will say that it really depends. If Sara and I are together, we get recognized a lot, but separately, not as much.
That is really funny.
Yeah, and honestly, most of our interactions with fans are really wonderful. I feel like people who know who we are the nicest people on earth, so we're really lucky. Nice to meet you. It used to be that if we saw people when we were young, when we saw young people, we thought, those young people might know who we are. And now, there's this confusing thing happening where I still see young people and think, they must know who we are, but they don't. Only, bitch, except for you two, and this adorable kid. That's Rosie. I only now am starting to realize that it's people in their 40s and 30s. I'm fine with that. But I'm seeing a lot more teenagers at the show, which is really fun. I'm not saying that there's no teenagers. You're not the first. You're not pioneers here. I mean, we have seen teenagers before. Yeah, sorry guys, but I used to think only that teenagers would know who we were, or young people would know who we were. And when I would talk to old people like myself, the age I am now, I'd be like, you won't know who we are. It's kind of like a young person's band or like a young person's thing. Now when I talk to people like who seem older and old to my age, they always know who we are, and I always feel a bit weird. And now when I talk to people my age, like in their 40s, if they don't know who we are, I just always say, like if they're like, what kind of music do you make? I just always straight up know that they probably have kids, and the only song they're gonna know is Everything Is Awesome. So I also feel like I'm just traveling around the world now, like as a children's performer. Like it's not just that they don't know our band. I'm like introducing myself. I play music for children. That's like my new thing. Like yes, you. Exactly, like you. The next generation. What an honor, actually. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna ask one more question, and then we're gonna sing some songs. The question is, what is some advice that you would give to a young queer person getting through high school? I assumed. unless there's a teenager hiding amongst these old people. Teenagers all over. What is this weird ageist rhetoric? Hey, I'm just teasing. Hey, we all have rhetoric. Tegan hates children, so she really beats up on me about having a kid. And I hate children. So it's an insane thing to say. Okay. You said you had one more question. I literally just asked it. Oh, but did you answer it? Well, I asked it because I was asking it to you. That was the question. What advice would you give to a young queer person getting through high school? Oh, great. Oh, I get to answer it. Oh, great. Okay. God. Well, I would say that being young in general feels really hard. That's what it felt like to me. Like, I don't know if there was like one specific thing when I was young that I was really hyper-focused on. The general sense, especially when we went back to write the memoir, like reading my journals and my notes, like I was pretty exasperated and emotionally fatigued by everything. Adults, structure, getting up early, the anxiety of the future and adulthood, acne, dating, my body, I mean, everything. So my advice for the queer part of it is the same as for all of it, which is just like, I really get it. It's hard. And I feel like as a young person, I just wish more people had acknowledged that. I feel like everyone's always trying to fix you or make you feel better or get you to stop feeling bad. But actually, I think what would have maybe made me feel better, even now as an adult, is just to feel seen and just have someone say, hey, it's really hard, but it does get easier. And as you get older, you get more control and autonomy and you get more comfortable. And it's something everybody goes through, so you're not alone. Like, I think those were the things that I needed to hear. I also think like there's this new thing where everyone's acting like young people are just like totally fine with being LGBTQ or different, and because it's so out there and it's all over the place and you hear about it more and there's more representation, but I still think it's like a huge thing. We still live mainly in a cis hetero world and we still mostly just see that. And so yeah, I think it's also like fair to say like it's still really tough, and coming out and being different and I don't know, struggling with how to come out and how, you know, your identity changes, your emotions. So it's, you know, it's tough. I don't, my advice is mostly just to be kind to yourself. Yeah. I almost think too, that if being a teenager and being in high school was easier, then we'd never want to be adults. You know, like it almost feels like you kind of have to hate it enough to trick yourself into adulthood, you know? Like you're like, this sucks, I can't wait to be an adult. And then you're like, oh no. Wait a second. I totally wish I was in high school.
Obviously it took you guys a while to get to that point, but it's so inspiring and kind of, it's something to look forward to be like openly out as a lesbian in the music space. proudly being yourselves. And I really applaud you guys for it. It's really inspiring to people like me who like maybe didn't like get a lot of that growing up. And so it's just like just thank you so much for the positive words.
Oh my God! I mean,
So
you're so
sweet of you to
welcome.
say.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's honestly, it's like, it's an honor and a, you know, everybody comes out at their own pace and at their own time. I think we were fortunate that we had each other, and you know, I think it would have been different if there was only one of us, but it definitely seemed hard to be both closeted. So we just were like, let's just do it, and you know, and that sort of that confidence and that like that outness, like it has impacted people generationally now for like almost 20 years. Like it's not lost on us, and it's a great honor actually now to know that it's still happening. So thanks. Yeah.
We're gonna play some music now. Play a couple songs we're not playing in the show.